had envisioned having these deities. Very specific. He wanted Madhava to be 5 feet 8 inches, Radha to be 5 feet, I can't remember, anyway, a little shorter in size with Ashtashakti there. 5 feet 8.5 inches was Radharani's size, and 5 feet 10 inches is Madhava's size. So Radha Madhava was carved in Jaipur, and a very unique thing happened too while they were being carved. The deities were actually very beautiful. Even the sculptors were amazed at how they were coming out. So this family of sculptors is very famous. So the Birla family, the wealthy industrial family, they so happened to come to the sculptors to buy some deities, and they saw Radha Madhava being carved, and they became attracted, and they wanted those deities. So they began offering them more and more money. They offered up to $12,000. This is back in 1978, 79, and the sculptors refused to sell them to them. He explained that, he was carving these for ISKCON. And the sculptor, he mentioned that the marble was so different from all the others that he had worked with, that while he was carving them, you have to take the hammer and you kind of chisel. You could hear a very nice ringing sound as he's chiseling on Madhava and Radha. And as he's polishing his body, a white line appeared around the body of Madhava, just like a Brahmin thread. And also on his forehead, like 2 lines like tilak appeared. So this Madhava deity is very unique and very special. So the deities were installed in, who knows, 1980. And then Radhapada in 1986, he paid for the installation of 4 of the Ashtashaktis. Which 4? Do you remember, King? First? I would assume Lalita, Vishaka. Oh, they did that side. So that on this side is Vishaka. I'm sorry, Lalita, Shampalaka, Chitra, and Tunga Vidya. And then in 1992, the other side was installed. Who knows the names? Okay, Haribol. And another thing you'd be surprised to know, actually the deities, they have a fund where there's money in the account, so that the deities will always have money for their worship. And there's so much money in that account that they only spend the interest. So this, in 1999, there was a plea put out that if you like, you can also contribute some money to that principle, so that you can maintain the worship of Radha Madhava. And also devotees like, especially if you're coming from some of the Western countries, you can bring some small things for them. Like in New York, there was a shop that sold such a nice variety of costume jewelry, beads and things, very unique things that you could get. In America, most of the temples would go there to shop and buy and bring these beads for making jewelry for the deities. So think like that next time you come to Gorpani, bring something for the deities. And here's some quotes from Prabhupada about Radha Madhava. Jananivas mentions that once he was standing in the deity room near Prabhupada while he was viewing the deities, and he said, they're dancing. He said, Prabhupada being Uttam Adhikari, he could see the deities in these other moods. And in the beginning, the devotees, of course, there's just the Bhajan Kutir, which is a thatch hut. I don't believe it had a cement floor at that time, did it? Or was it just dirt floor? It was cement floor? Okay. Cement floor. And Prabhupada's talking about how grand Mayapur is going to be, these big deities. There's no money in ISKCON in those days, especially in India. In those days, most of the money was coming from the foreign countries. I was in Chicago 1974 to 78, and we would, 1975, I was also the treasurer. I do book distribution and be the treasurer. And we were collecting about $2,000 a day in 1975, just from the book distribution. And we would send all that money to India. We didn't build a nice temple for ourselves. So, and no one thought like that, why you were sending all this money to India. But, because, we're all servants of Prabhupada. We're simply fulfilling his desire. So maybe India can send some money back our way. We still have those same temples. All these years you go there, isn't it? You went to saw Atlanta and Philadelphia, same buildings, they just keep patching them up. Maybe one day someone will build a nice, beautiful temple for those deities. So the devotees said to Prabhupada, we're sitting in these rice fields, and you've asked us to build a city? Where's all the money going to come from? Srila Prabhupada laughed. You're always worried about where the money will come from. Here we have Radha Madhava. Madhava means the husband of the goddess of fortune. You just worship Radha Madhava nicely, and everything will come by their mercy. You don't have to worry about money. So, Janani Vasa is a witness to this. You can see from cutting the burfi into 7 pieces to such opulent maha and worship that's going on. Every day it's a festival. And as a matter of fact, I remember even in 77 visiting the other temples, the deity worship was very simple. I was kind of surprised because coming from the West, I only saw ISKCON worship. So you're a little surprised that when we're going to see these historic deities and they're just kind of, no light, maybe no garland, just simple jewelry. But because of our worship, everyone else has kind of come up too in that way. So a little bit of the history of our movement here in Mayapur. So I'll take the last 10 minutes to talk about today's verse a little bit. In this verse, Prabhupada is glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam because in Prabhupada's view, this Bhagavatam is not just some collection of stories. Everyone likes to be entertained and get pleasure from hearing stories, isn't it? Movie industry is a big business. The people who are the actors make millions of dollars. The movies themselves generate, some movies make $1 billion. So people like to hear and all these, as we say, mundane pastimes. But this Bhagavatam is a collection of the pastimes of the devotees in Krishna, which are even more attractive. And even the Bhagavatam itself is not really so much just for our entertainment too. That's more on the beginning platform. We come to Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna says, 4 kinds of people surrender unto me. Right? But hopefully, as those 4 desires are fulfilled, we become attracted to becoming intimate associates of Krishna. You see? And wanting to be involved in those pastimes. And we'll rise above that. So, Bhagavatam is meant for actually the re-spiritualization of the entire world. It's complete. Not only is the pastimes of the Supreme Person I've guided there, but everything is described in there. Diplomacy, how to live even nice in this material world by following Varnashram Dharma and things of that nature. In the preface of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada writes, speaks about this. I wanted to read a little bit of this. It's pretty significant because Srila Prabhupada, as we know, being the